free.
I'm gonna start streaming now.
I like open source.
Let me check my YouTube page because I still don't know if it's perfect.
So they left me alone with some teenager who's like the scout senior patrol leader to like tell him about science, or specifically the computer side of science.
Oh, yeah.
And he did not want to talk about anything other than building gaming PCs. And I was like, that's fine. I can pivot this into GPL. And so, like, slowly I dragged him onto, like, talking about open source. And he was like, oh, yeah, I know something about open source. And I was like, yeah, man. Good. You like open source? It's a good thing? He's like, absolutely. I'm like, cool. Welcome to the fight. I'm going to tell you how to fight. Like, we have to keep our software free. He's like, why? What? I'm like, let me tell you about different license types.
Sounds
we have
fascinating.
to keep our software free. Yeah. He left, like, actually super happy. And I'm like, I did not see that coming.
Alright,
Look at that. You're your pacifier.
Take
Forever
this
now.
and respond to Vonk and make sure every audio bit is, like, decent, at least. Please and thank
1,
you.
2, 3, got it.
My everything just doesn't really want to function, so we'll be waiting for 17 years if you wait on me.
What?
Sorry.
What am I doing?
Take that link and respond to voice.
Oh, perfect.
Hey, I heard me.
Alright, does that sound like me and everyone else is balanced? Because those are two separate inputs.
Aubrey and Haley say something.
Aubrey and
something,
Haley are
something,
saying something.
Guy is still pretty quiet. Aubrey, you're too loud.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
But you're the DM, so
I was about to
yes.
say, he's
I am very important.
Alex, could you do something, please?
Something?
Okay.
It sounds actually pretty good. If anything, I'd say Aaron was a little quiet in the recording, but
That's fine. I hate the sound of my own voice. That works for me.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's how this
pretty
works.
solid.
nobody likes the sound of their own voice.
Yeah, but I especially hate my voice.
Yeah,
Don't
I mean,
worry,
I especially
my
hate
own
my
voice.
voice. Like, that's just
Yeah.
how it works.
Yeah, you don't like it, Aaron, because you
Welcome
don't
to being a person.
Alright.
I don't think humans were intended to hear their own voices.
Okie doke. Anyway, we are live then. And so we've got
Last time on D&D,
Thanks, Vigdis. Take it away.
there was some scrying, there was some teleporting, there was
The
no
scrying.
character deaths.
there was corpse grinding.
There was
Oh,
Met an old
what?
friend.
Was there?
Yeah.
Ground a lot of corpses.
I mean,
Well,
a lot of
Bofer specifically, just Bofer. Ground a lot of corpses.
Listen. Alright.
Listen.
We didn't have any
God
character.
gives you a lemonade squeezing stand.
You squeeze lemon.
You go out and find some lemons.
And by lemons, you mean corpses of creatures
Yeah.
And
that
humans.
we probably, I think, almost exclusively just murdered.
Hey guys, by the way, can
Sounds
we
legit.
do a nice burial ceremony for the heavenly Anubis?
The Archon.
Oh yeah.
That
The
one.
Hound Archon.
You mean you didn't just squeeze it?
No, we didn't squeeze the Archon.
Seems a little bit sacrilegious.
But
Just, the normal amount of sacrilegious.
Yeah.
But imagine how much good
How much
energy
more
you
sacrilege
get when you
could
drink when you drink an entire Hound
Too late.
Archon.
Already set him on fire. Pay your respects.
Like,
All right,
whoops, that is
Bofer, if
fire.
you want to breathe in those fumes.
Yeah, Bofer's been up to some especially weird shit. I've been like having my head grappled by a pool of water and just kind of breathing that. I've been dragging corpses. and
Yep,
grinding
that's normal. Let's be honest here.
I mean, it's Bofer that we're talking about.
Yeah, when life gives you a lemonade squeezer.
You put corpses in it.
Exactly.
Yep.
Or when life gives you corpses, you put them in your lemonades. I mean, really, it works in either direction.
It really does.
It's a good metaphor. I like it.
Metaphor? Is that? that a word?
Metaphors.
It's a little too literal here.
If we require more subtlety in our metaphors,
Also, Bofer, I think you definitely need to go use your runes to label the corpse squeezing machine lemonade squeezer.
ooh, shit, she's
Just
right.
saying. Just saying.
That's fair. Yeah. Alright, I go back and put it in some kind of cryptic gnomish where it's like, when Elasnes gives you lemonade.
Nice. Okay. Labeled.
Perfect.
So, are we ready to teleport?
Yes.
Just give me 1 second. I want to look at how many spell slots I have left, because we may need to sleep on the boat. If I recall correctly.
I have all of mine.
Yeah, I have 1 teleport remaining for today. So we probably teleported to Ziggy, teleported back, and did not sleep.
Yes, that is
No,
exactly
we
what happened.
Yeah.
So maybe take a quick nap.
Oh,
Do we
goodness
want me
gracious.
to have another teleport out, or are we okay with sleeping on the boat?
We
It
can
sounds
sleep
like
on the boat, or if it gets really
Well-
bad, we can pull out our own boat, sleep on that, and then continue on.
That is true. We do have a boat.
Yeah.
Because you can still cast, like, wind or something, right, Aaron?
I can still cast what?
Like a wind spell?
Yeah, I've got 6 casts of Wind Wall.
Perfect, we're fine, let's do it.
Perfect.
Okay, just don't miss the boat.
Yeah, that's a good point. Don't do that.
If we sleep on a separate boat, what's to stop them from just sailing off without us in the middle of the night?
The wind wall will sail away from them.
Yeah, the point is we have a retreat plan.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I already have Dimension Door. We already have a retreat plan.
Well, we like to have multiple
Okay.
plans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you guys aren't too keen on being teleported in the middle of the ocean, huh?
Yeah.
Not really.
X still has recurring nightmares of drowning to death in a river. So.
Along with the goat.
Brava has recurring nightmares of boat
Never happened to her, you know. She just has nightmares about it.
Yeah.
She feels like in a past life she might
Yeah,
have
in
died.
some alternate universe.
Speaking of which, I meant to tell you guys, we need to restart that. I think we need to have level 10 deathmatch
Ooh, that
the
sounds
next couple
fun.
weeks.
That could be
Oh yeah, that would
But
be
especially if we're gonna be on and off.
That might
Yeah.
be easier as well to arrange because like Ethan might be able to do it if it's just like randomly like a Tuesday night or something like that.
Yeah.
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 I don't know.
Alright.
Yeah.
It's your homework. Level up your level ones.
Or
Are we
make a new
making
one.
from scratch or making new ones?
Up to you.
No,
Or I
wait.
mean, upload.
I
Yes,
figure we
I'm-
make new ones because it's probably impossible to balance some of those characters.
What?
Like for one, my whole druid's thing was that he could buy a number of dogs
Yeah,
to
I
get
was
to
about
Chomp.
to say, it doesn't really scale up too well.
Unless
Well,
at this
fun
point
too,
he's got
have
like a
your new
traveling
character.
circus.
I
Yeah.
guess it could be. You can either take your character up to 10 or start fresh.
Yeah. It doesn't
I'll
matter
have to look
me.
at how unbalanced my character is.
I don't even remember what I played, to be perfectly honest.
I was an oracle.
I was a monk.
I think whatever
Um,
Haley
Anyways,
played,
to the boat.
she got slept immediately and coup de grace.
No, that was me.
No, okay, that was Alex.
And then it later turned out I forgot that I was an elf and was therefore immune to sleep effects. So I really shot myself in the foot on that one.
You really
I
drowned
think
yourself
we
in the
looked
river on
that up
that one.
after
Yeah.
elves are only immune to sleep effects, as far as like not having to sleep. I think you
No, they're proper immune
No,
to the
yeah.
spells.
really
Oh yeah.
Yep.
okay. Rip.
And it's extra stupid because I play a half elf in our main campaign. There was no reason for me to not know that. But then it was too
Haley,
late.
you bear trapped Ethan running around a room. Remember?
I really don't.
There was a big square that was full of brush and shit, and you put down 3 bear traps and fucking caught Ethan in one of them.
That sounds like something I would do.
And then now that explains Danny's focus on collecting bear traps in this campaign.
Yeah. Most of those fights were people putting bear traps in strategic locations and me marking them, waiting for someone to step in line.
Oh my god, I remember that. It was like playing Battleship, where it's just like, look here. And then I think I remember like Aaron or somebody trying to throw something at me,
No,
and I
that
had
was
the
the DM.
skills among to catch something.
Oh yeah, I think that was James that threw
Yeah.
knobs at you. And you just snatch arrowed on him.
It was great.
Oh yeah, James had a bolus, that's what it was.
Yeah.
You just caught it out of midair.
That's what it does. Come here, bro. Let's put you on the playmat.
So we're gonna go to the boat.
Yeah, I am prepared to go to the boat.
Okay.
What
Teleport her
are
out.
we gonna do about Ziggy?
Leave him with Danny.
Do we want to leave him, or do you want to bring him with us?
I
Because
figured we
he's the
wanted-
one that's raising these allegations.
Yeah, he's got the
Oh, he's the primary witness.
Mm-hmm. He's our prosecuting.
Oh, okay. Let's do that then.
prosecutorial.
I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know the words.
Prosecutorial. No, I can't remember the word. Anyway, yeah, all right. So,
Everybody into the teleportation circle.
I believe. How many people do we got? Ziggy. Yeah, I think we have to put someone in a bag.
Danny's just like, I'll sit it out.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
Is
Yeah.
that Verater
What?
on the map?
Where?
On the map?
There's like 4 maps. Oh yeah,
the one
right.
with the
right
people
here.
on it.
This is Brotter.
Yeah.
Hey.
I was looking at the southern map.
Oh look, Verater's gone.
Technically, Roger could still just fucking show up one session. Does he even know we're playing on Sundays?
I thought so.
Doubt it.
It's fine.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. All right.
Anyway.
So I guess I get one last glimpse of where the ship's at, and I grab everyone and teleport us onto what looks like the least crowded part of the ship.
Can you teleport us onto the bow? Because that would be super badass.
Is that the high grounds?
That's the
That's
point.
very
The
tip of the
point,
ship.
the front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the high
Like,
grounds.
that's
think
the
Titanic?
king of the world part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. I'll teleport us on the bow.
And we should be in increasing order of acrobatics check. So like X with your high acrobatics should be at the furthest point.
Wait, could you guys balance on each other so that you appear in formation?
Oh my god, that'd be powerful.
Like get a Ginyu Force pyramid
I
going?
was actually thinking Ginyu Force. Yes, presumably we could.
Alright, everyone pose.
We have to, but you got to workshop a couple minutes at least of okay, what are we gonna do? What angles is gonna give us the most intimidating
Well,
impression?
Obviously, Brinton and I are down at the bottom because we're the buffet.
Mm-hmm.
well, we now have a celestial fish, so that might do something for superstitious sailors.
That's true.
We come to you riding the celestial fish of justice.
Justice.
I love it.
Okay.
It's a pretty good omen
So
there.
wait, how about we all just ride Jason, the celestial fish of justice? Damn it. Celestial fish justice is in fact very difficult to say.
Celestial fish of justice. Yeah, that's not fun. Not a fun
Not
one.
easy. Alright, so I guess I'm gonna do that. And we're all gonna be behind Jason, the celestial fish of justice.
That's his new official title.
Alright, well, I need to see
Celestial fish
a
of
die
justice.
roll.
Oh god, I hate it. Blech.
Yeah. So presumably I well examined the bow.
Yeah, you can see it pretty well, super clearly.
So
Okie doke.
what
So
are we
with-
talking about?
is that
Say,
pretty familiar
study
then?
carefully.
Studied carefully.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll 1d100. 28.
That is a completely normal roll and nothing weird happens.
Exactly.
Well, when you
on
say it like that,
This time.
Okay.
Okay. So, bloop, bloop. Okay, so the orientation is a little off when you arrive, but you're basically looking like 60 degrees off the side and looking tough, and then you just appear, and like a deckhand immediately screams and begins
Nice.
crab walking away.
Nice. Did you guys see my formation in D&D chat?
Yes, I love it.
Hold on. No, I got it.
I did not. Oh yeah. Wait, why does someone have a giant knife dildo?
Well, X is on top of me. That's my tail.
Oh,
Tail,
you're
nice
a
dildo.
religious object.
Uh-huh.
So,
And then
What
Boford
a
is
knife
on top.
dildo sticking out of your pocket. Or a tail.
no,
The tail.
this is our new flag.
Perfect.
Sad Jason.
That
Got-
Jason,
got
the
Jason's
celestial
halo.
fish of justice.
Oh yeah, Jason actually has wings. I'm gonna say they're angelic wings now.
Great. All right. So anyway,
So, yeah, about. After hearing the yelp, you hear the steady thump of. Like boots coming up from the galley. Apparently, you arrived at dinner time. So almost everyone is in the galley, and a bunch of people come up with like napkins tucked into their shirts, but like cut was drawn.
Uh-huh.
And finally, the first mate says, "Wait, do you have? You still have him in his portable hole?
What? Ziggy?
Do you have Ziggy? Is he in the hole or is he on deck?
No, I think he was with us.
He's with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just didn't draw him
Can you
into the
teleport
formation.
5 people or 4 people?
I think it's 5. Let me triple check.
Anyway,
How many people per level? One additional willing creature per 3 caster levels. I'm 11. What's 11 divided by 3? So I can bring along 3.6 people extra. So no, Ziggy's in the hole.
Ziggy's in the hole. Okay. So the first mate on deck is, who are you, and how did you get on our ship?
who's got the highest perform?
Performer.
Perform or Diplo?
Either or,
I've got the highest Diplo. So I say.
because someone needs to announce our intention to the crew.
Yeah.
So I perform, but it's dance.
We shall announce our intention.
Through interpretive dance.
Ooh, I rolled a 3 on diplomacy. Hail! We come from a faraway
I rolled a 4.
land. We are seeking.
You sound like you're not from this plane.
What?
Eh,
Well,
Me?
Are you here on divine intent?
Oh, so you saw the fish.
No.
Um,
We
yeah.
have come to.
Are you messengers of a
rectify-
god?
What?
sure.
Are you messengers of a
Yes.
god?
Yes.
Foul or fair?
Well, yes,
We have
actually, I
come
am.
to rectify a grave injustice that has been dealt to this man, and I pull Ziggy out of the bag.
Like a rabbit, grab his hair, pull him out.
I haven't the foggiest who that is.
I believe.
Show me to your leader.
I believe Captain. Hold on.
The captain's napping. It's dinner time and we're all filling our bellies.
Oh.
Well,
perfect.
tell the captain to get his pretty little butt up here and talk to us.
If
He's
not
a-
so kind.
Sissies.
More of a nighttime owl.
Do I look like I care?
we fucking stutter when we said get his ass up here?
Oh, I'm sorry. You stuttered when you said whether or not you were emissaries of a divine entity.
No, actually, I said I was.
Way to go, Bofer.
No. Our dragon definitely said she's an emissary of a divine. Whatever the fuck.
Also, we're not here to parlay with you.
We're
we demand
looking
to
for
with your captain.
Sergeant Harold the
Oh
Navigator.
goodness gracious!
I toss my hand axe into the ground directly in front of him and say, "Bring us the captain."
I see you know the old ways. Your challenge has been registered. We'll get the captain. And he takes the hand axe and he goes in to the captain's lounge.
I look
And
at
Are there
You
any
hear him
sailors still on
do
deck?
the exact same thing where he similarly throws the hatchet into the deck and the captain goes, "What in the shit sticks?" you hear muttered talking, and then he comes out and he goes, "All right, which one of you is the crazy person?"
Well, I point at Vigdis.
Definitely points at Victus.
But then also Reva, and then also Bofer. Just
Jason-
kind of.
Jason
Reva looks
scowls
affronted.
visibly.
And then I just look at Jason, and then I look away.
So, am I correct in assuming y'all teleported onto my ship?
no, we just, win.
We're in the
Our
neighborhood.
our tire.
And would that be the old captain there? Is that Captain Archibald?
Archibald.
No, it's not.
Archie.
Ziggy looks at the ground and he says, "Yeah, I thought it was a better sea name."
I thought Ziggy
Extra
was a better
starts
everything
cracking
name.
up.
Because Ziggy isn't even his name. It was like Arnold or something like that.
Oh, I get it. Perhaps he was upset that he was a slave trader, huh? Maybe that is why he is here.
Ziggy.
What?
Ziggy.
Oh, you didn't want to be known as a great slave trader, eh?
Ziggy?
We all glanced at Ziggy with like, "You'd better start talking."
Ziggy
Or
kind of
act
stammers
your way.
through explaining, like, well, when you're sailing out of, like, like you were saying, when you sail through Mirab, you make lemonade.
Hmm.
Dude,
I mean, it's legal. I didn't do anything illegal. Slaves are perfectly legal trade in Mirab. Like, they don't take slaves, they make slaves.
Well,
I am okay with none of
this is 100% against a very strongly worded clause in the contract. Did you not read it? Did you not read
you
it?
read it.
Ziggy,
No,
do
it's
you know how to read?
It's in my trade plan. You didn't read the trade plan. You signed off on the trade plan personally.
Yes,
I-
You
to
bought
trade
that trade
cargo.
plan.
To trade cargo, not humans.
Yes. Goods.
But more than that, he violated the guild.
I don't give a shit about your guild. I just really don't.
And all the men on the ship are like, whoa, 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 whoa! You don't care about the guild?
Of course I don't care about the guild.
Okay, this is Magnamar Trade Union here. We all are part of the Shipmen's Guild.
Oh my god.
Okay, and we spent a lot of time in Karamaga lately. You're not gonna sell me on this point. Sorry.
What does Karamaga even have a port?
It's more of a,
It
it's a
won't
free
when
for all
we're done
city.
with it.
Whatever.
physical
We
port.
might just make one. Airport. Get it?
Well, look, we collectivized the ship because he was trading in slaves and because he didn't respect our unionization.
What
So-
exactly did he not respect? What happened? Give me your deposition.
Why, any of the union codes. He claimed he would fire us all.
What were you doing
We
to
were
deserve to
already
get
at
fired?
sea. So what were we supposed to do? Sail back under someone else's work? That's slavery. The man clearly doesn't have problems with slaves.
Huh.
What were
You
you
can't
doing?
declare yourself dictator on the high seas. So obviously we took the ship. and took it as our payment for our services rendered, since we were unable to come due in accord.
What were you doing that caused him to want to fire all of you?
Nothing. He simply
Well,
wanted to
that's
change the terms of our contract.
If you're sitting around doing nothing, jacking off to mermaids, then
Missy, as you may
obviously
be aware, sitting around on a ship is the work.
Yeah, no, hold on. There's nothing wrong with jacking it. Let's make that clear. I mean, there's a lot of time on a ship. All right, let's breeze over that.
yeah,
You may have
Vegas.
noticed only Marley over there is keeping us going straight.
Yeah. So, I was going somewhere with this, but okay. So obviously he didn't fulfill his contract with us. He didn't fulfill his contract with you. Why don't we just make a new contract and cut out the middleman? Because you see, we are owed quite a bit of money that's invested in this ship and its cargo, and does not belong to you or your guild, and is owed to us. So,
Well, to be fair, anyone who makes port in Magnamar owes money to the guild.
which is fair, but we are owed first since it is our boat and our cargo.
We're
So-
your boss. I don't know if you knew this.
Is this true, Archibald? Your ship is not your ship, it's their ship? Archibald kind of looks at the ground and kicks his feet around. So, are you a prince in Azir? Archibald, or Ziggy, looks at the ground and shuffles his feet again.
Okay.
Okay, I think I see the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So, is it even your trading route? He
Nope.
looks at the ground and shuffles his feet.
Ziggy, I
Okay, well,
expected
I'm
better.
done addressing him. If anyone has further questions,
Which side of the ship should we toss him off of? I'm kind of partial to the left-hand side. I think that's port.
Let's do port.
Yeah, I like that one.
Oh,
I
Ziggy
see more
addresses
sharks over there.
X specifically, and he says, X, no, come on, you know, you just have to fake it till you make it, you know? Like,
Slaves, Ziggy, slaves. Slaves.
they were already for sale. I'm not perpetuating anything. It's
You are 100% perpetuating. What the hell, man? What were you thinking? Do you know how many of
They were
our friends
all-
were sold into slavery, killed by slaves, killed for the slave trade? Who are you?
there was such a
I
tiny
am-
fraction of what the route was on, you know?
I
It's
expected
just a little bit to
better.
add the...
I'm disappointed in you.
You're right. I made a stupid decision. But the rest of it, the guild stuff and the mutiny, it was a mutiny. Come on.
Apparently with grounds.
Yeah, actually, and we have an expert mutineer over here.
We do. I'm going to defer to my sailor expert, my subject matter expert here, Vigdis.
Okay, I
Please,
get it.
give
I
me
see
your
why you don't want me as your captain. I see why you don't want me
I'm
as...
absolutely gonna toss him off the boat, like right now.
You're just grabbing him and chucking him?
Yep.
Alright. Well, he does not have a CMD that can prevent him from being chucked off the boat in any fashion. Unless someone
Sometimes
interferes
are
with Vigdis.
inexcusable.
I think I'm gonna interfere with Vigdis, and by I mean Jason.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have once he's in the water though. I'm like, all right, Beaufort, can you have Jason go pick him up?
No. Jason's gonna CMB that if needed.
Oh, to keep him from hitting the water?
No, to stop Vigdis from picking him up.
Oh, okay.
Does
I
he
don't
want a
want
new
to have
chew
to
toy?
punch a fish, but I'll punch him.
If he wants a new chew toy, we can buy you a nicer one.
Don't throw people off boats.
No, that's also slavery, Sky.
Only for like a second. We're gonna bring him back.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is all about a show of force.
Yeah,
yeah.
security theater.
So the crew is watching the division right now, and their heads are like turning back and forth. And you realize everyone's like watching this, and, like Vigdis has you by the seat of the pants. Your head's about- It's like, you're like, no, we don't do that. Come on. And Jason's there with like already kind of glommed on with his sticky skin.
I'm just trying to imagine. Have you ever seen a Great Dane try and climb up on someone? That is what I'm picturing. Like Jason as a big fish that's sticky with wings and it's just clomping onto Victus's back. And she's got this guy by like the seat of his pants.
Yep.
You're not wrong.
And they're like, okay, why don't we all calm down and have a pint?
Okay.
We can be at Brinewall 8 a.m. Maybe clearer heads will prevail.
Yeah. Does your guild have an office there? Maybe we can.
Brinewall guilds. No.
Okay.
Okay. Because I was thinking that we could maybe talk to your guild and come up with a more formal solution.
Well, the formal headquarters is in Magnamar. That's where we're incorporated, and that's the guild we pay our dues.
Interesting. You know, guys, what we could do is end up like selling our ship for profit, or like renting it out to them, and then we get a portion of the benefits while they get an extra ship for their business, and just a small amount of our profits would go to them for trade agreements. It's a good idea.
That is the exact deal that you made with Ziggy.
Yeah.
Really?
That was the
Sounds
deal that
like
we
that.
kind of already had in place.
Well then, but then Ziggy fucked
Unfortunately, he was a dumbass and broke it.
it up. Okay, well we have to come up with a new idea then. My idea
Then
is
Ziggy got mutinied on and reframed it poorly, and
damn.
and then somehow there's a third person who factors into this.
Sergeant Harold the Navigator.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought Sergeant.
Are you an
Harold-
actual sergeant?
He's not here apparently. Yeah. I was about to ask. So wait, hold on. I thought Sergeant Harold was gonna be on this boat. What's his deal?
Harold the Navigator. It's a bit of a mean nickname.
Couldn't find his way out of a paper bag.
He's more of an armchair navigator.
Sounds right.
You know, he's a financier.
Okay, but what is he financing if you're running on all our money?
Well, you have to spend money to make money.
Right. And you're spending our money. Where's Prince Sergeant Harold's money come in then?
Well, apparently you furnished a ship, but you didn't furnish a trade good.
We actually did furnish trade goods too.
Yeah, we did. We gave him a fuck ton of, like, basically all of the loot from the Crow, the one tower.
Yeah.
Was this before or after our spice emporium?
It was before.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I remember. I heard the stories.
Excuse me.
A couple of boxes of spices and, well, look, you'll be pleasantly pleased if you take a look in the hold.
Okay, we're not
If
all
I see
going to that hall.
if I
Everybody
see one singular slave, I'm cutting your head off. Just so you know.
No such thing. Primarily mining implements and exports. You'll see. We're headed back from the Linorm lands. Go have a look. We'll wait here.
Why does this feel like a bad idea?
What do you have down there? They do know what they have down there.
Yeah. So do you go look?
I'll go look, but I say everybody else stay up here.
Yeah.
Everyone,
Okay.
you're gonna go by yourself.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Do we have
Everyone
message
stay put.
cast?
The one that can, break a hole through the side of the ship is gonna go have a look.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So
Also
you
with the best
go downstairs and you see a dazzling array of lights adorning really beautiful treasure chests, which are all like Linorm hides and dragon scales and just thick chests of minted gold and crowns and, the stuff of, like,
Viking treasure.
Viking treasure, plus a number of, like, really just very pleasant art objects and stuff. The kind of thing that you really have to go very far north.
Are any of them religious in nature?
Ha.
Ha.
Yes, but not the way you mean.
Dang it. Sorry, Reva.
But you're like, wow, this is
okay.
like the real treasure that you would like buy from noble houses in the Linorm lands. That like would be very exotic and fetch high prices far away.
So these people are actually really good at trading.
Yeah, collectivism is a hell of a thing.
Collectivism plus a capital influx.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So they were able to buy very high-priced items, load the ship with as many densely high-priced items as possible, and ship those.
Mm-hmm.
Does.
As one does. So you come back up and tell them?
Yep.
You're like, yep, that's the real, okay. You're like, we it would have taken us, 15 years of trading to, build up the funds to buy stuff like this.
Okay.
Well, you're welcome.
Well, no, they're saying Sergeant Harold also helped.
I mean, that's andesite from Joel, Joel andesite.
Is that the guy we left with the oranges?
No, that's the city.
Oh.
Also, we don't mention Orange Guy here.
Oh,
Orange Guy was part of the Union.
Oops.
oh shit.
I feel like that's a completely different ship, by the way.
Yes,
It
yes.
is. It is. We
you
have like
know.
3 ships going on here.
It's very complicated.
And
Starting
another
with Naval
Union
Empire.
member.
Like when I was thinking we were playing D&D, I never thought that I'd have to keep track of different ships in universe. I just
Yeah,
didn't come to mind.
that was the ship that was a ghost ship that we piloted into the shore.
Okay, so look, we'll make port in the morning. We'll get out our documents, we'll review things, we'll review it with an open heart and an open head. We owe money,
Stomach.
we owe you money, but we are now wealthy traders. We can do this together.
Just saying, a partnership would be good for business. We make inroads in some very exotic places that have never been visited
We
before.
are already partners of fate.
Perfect.
We did not agree to this, you did not agree to this, but you will get what you deserve, and we will get what is ours.
And hey, I think you guys
Pretty
might
words,
have
man.
a sparkly new cabin boy right here. And I just sort of kick Ziggy onto the deck.
He will stay here. Or in port. I have no interest in taking him. We owe him nothing.
Hey, so that brings me to question number 3. Why did you guys ship him off to a succubus who was torturing him?
Oh yeah, good point.
What? You find trouble, my friend. We did no such thing. We left him in Absalom. How did you find a succubus in Absalom? It would be murdered instantly.
Oh my god.
Well, he was allegedly taken to Corvosa at some point.
It's a short hop, yeah.
X, you make the weirdest friends.
Yeah,
I don't think this is on her. I think this dude is just bad
Yeah,
news.
it's just a remarking of fate, because her girlfriend's also a little weird too.
Do not judge
Leave Papaya
Papaya,
out of
all right?
Okay. Not judging. Also, the sense motive Aubrey was just to see like how sincere he was being.
Yeah. He's genuinely, like, amused, like, dude, we left you, like, literally 1,000 miles from there.
Yeah. No, I meant about the agreement the next morning.
Oh, yeah, he's genuinely not interested in fighting you guys. He genuinely would like to not be in the middle of the ocean in a very tense situation.
It's probably
Perfect.
wise.
Yeah.
Have you seen Vigdis's biceps? Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Passable diplomacy plus the immediate threat of an armed invasion on his boat has put him in a defensive position. And he's like, okay, look, I'm sure there's a way to deal with this without everyone on the ship dying.
Yeah. All right. So, Ziggy, how did you wind up in Corvosa then?
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, you're gonna talk.
No, I'm not gonna. And
You are actually.
you can't make
Roll
me.
Intimidate. Where is my button? I'm sorry, I don't know my alphabet. There it is. No, there it is. And they're like, if you don't talk right, I'm gonna walk up real close and like whisper in his ear. They're like, if you don't talk right fucking now, I'm gonna come out here with Vigdis in the middle of the night when the sticky fish isn't here to save your sorry ass. I have no issue with dumping your traitorous asshole spineless sack of
I
shit.
mean, he has a problem with you doing that. And he points at Bumper. Or the fish.
Exactly, which is why I'm gonna come back when they're not around so they can't stop me if you don't speak right now.
Yeah, so he's pretty fucking intimidated. And he's like, okay, look, Harold's not a good guy. I had a secret mission.
Guys, I'm thinking you're not a good guy at this point.
I had a secret mission, and the slaves were just a cover.
Well,
Harold has weird tastes. He didn't
elaborate.
He didn't want just to. Well, he can just get slaves because he has the capital, but what he can't get is magic, and he wants magic slaves.
Elaborate.
You know, the kind you have to summon and bind in like Chiliax or Corvosa.
Why did he pick you for this super special mission?
Well, it was the conditions for the money to do the trading. No, I found the investors, not these guys. I have real contributions to the shipping company, you guys.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it's not entirely my own trade route, but like, you know, I was listening in those bars. That's
how
fair.
most business happens.
What's that?
So that is how most business happens.
Yeah,
People listening in the right bars.
I guess. At least in DC.
No, you know.
Yeah. So he explains that he didn't want just any succubus. He wanted like a very specific succubus.
So he wanted to kidnap a succubus.
Yes,
Is what you're saying.
And not just any succubus, a specific succubus that he knew the name of, that was like a specific bound succubus who had been around long enough to have like no longer be struggling to like murder, you know, their captors.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the slaves that they picked up in Mirab was, like, before the mutiny, was one of these. And after the mutiny, the succubus saw an opening and used her teleport to drag him back to her old master in Corvosa. And the old master was like, yeah, man, do what you want. Like, you've always been a good servant. Like, chain him up if you like.
This dude literally Stockholmed as bound succubus.
Yep.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you have to be a kind of monster to Stockholm a succubus.
It's impressive.
Anyway, he's supposed to deliver her still to Harry, or he'll be calling in the debts.
But we killed her. Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And ground up her body into a potion.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. She just ran away.
You could true res a succubus, which would be pretty funny.
But
I won't.
Yeah, I have no intention to do that.
And I also require a part of the body.
Yeah, so the much higher level spell True Resurrection requires no part of the body.
Don't have that one.
Although arguably the potion is part of her body.
I just don't want to even think about that.
Or go back. You could probably find some, like, a piece of hair or something in her chamber. But we're not doing it.
I'm not doing it.
Good. We won't.
Alright, so we killed that succubus that you didn't stop us from killing. And grinding up her body, Ziggy.
Well, I was really out of blood. Okay?
Okay. So, how do you want to do this then? Because you still.
Oh, I just owe him a fuckload of money for lost goods and, interest on the loan now.
Better start scrubbing floors.
Yeah.
Washing
Yeah,
dishes.
he's gonna be coming for me. Harold's not a good guy.
As you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
Ziggy,
but
I'm
now
beginning
I
to
have
think
an idea of what a bad guy he is. Don't you have any pity for me?
I don't
Ziggy,
pity a
you were
fool who gets
selling
himself in the
slaves.
net.
Well, he
You
was
did this to
selling
yourself.
slaves in a capitalist system, so arguably it wasn't necessarily his fault.
No,
That's what I'm saying, right?
It was economic coercion.
I'm with this guy. I'm with this guy.
Definitely morally gray at best.
See, just gray. It's just gray, guys.
And it happens, Ziggy, to go against my personal moral code, which dictated the contract that you signed.
Yeah, but you signed off on the plan. The plan was in there.
It did not mention slaves, or I would not have signed off on it.
It was under labor
if you
assets.
say goods and chattel, I'm gonna fucking slap you.
No, it was under labor.
Labor.
Yeah, it was page 23 under shipping manifest. It said labor. Labor 23 pieces.
Didn't say the word slaves, and now I'm gonna punch you in the face.
Okay.
For the record, I do punch him in the face.
Okay. Yep. Ziggy bleeds.
Nice.
So, now that you guys have all listened to that rest of the crew, how do you feel about Prince Sergeant Harold the Navigator? How much do you guys owe him currently?
About 400,000 gold.
Jesus. How much are the goods on board the ship worth?
Oh, probably 2 million.
See, that's kind of small change here. I mean, small change,
yes.
but...
Well, okay, so the crew hasn't been paid, so they'll all be getting their shares.
Right.
And then you have to repair the ship.
And the ships, that's incidental.
Maintenance.
And then, Ziggy interjects, technically, we owe Harold much more, 500,000?
What did you do, Ziggy?
Breach of contract! It was right there. The succubus has to be delivered. She's dead.
Hey, could we just give him that potion? And we're like, this is your succubus.
Arguably...
Resurrection doesn't even cost that much.
What?
Why don't we just res her and then we're good?
No.
She's evil.
You're evil.
You're evil. Yeah.
No. He whines.
He's lying.
Or he whines, I said.
Oh, whines. Okay.
But
You're evil. No.
No.
But Sergeant Harold is also evil. And is Magmar slavery legal? I don't remember the local laws.
It's legal, but the guards won't do anything to enforce it.
Wait,
So
it's
illegal?
legal?
No, it is legal. but like escaped slaves, like the guards won't like track them down or report
got it.
crimes based on slaves or whatever.
Got it.
Mhm.
They're like, oh no, an escaped slave. We'll
Oh,
be sure to
no.
keep an eye out.
Jackass walks away.
You're so cute.
Okay.
Rich assholes think we're their personal military.
So a lawful person would pay back Sergeant Harold and
Then shoot him.
then not do anything
And then rob his
further,
corpse.
because that is still law. But a lawful... Oh, I don't know what the fuck a lawful good person would do. Because I guess you would still kill him if he's evil, right? Maybe pay him back and then kill him?
And then, because this is what we do, we'll loot his corpse for the money that we just paid him. Obviously.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. But we did pay him.
One of these is clearly in conflict with the other. I say we just kill Sergeant Harold the Navigator. Or at least get him arrested for crimes of smuggling slaves. Is economic
But
clerk...
I'm
if he lives in a
interested-
place where that's not illegal, we can't get
Yeah.
him arrested. So like,
So I guess all of that's just fully lawful, but not good.
Yeah.
What? Ziggy, what was he planning on doing with this succubus?
do you really want to know
I
the
think
answer
you
to that
know.
question?
Okay. All right. That answers my question more than I wanted it to be answered.
And the stuff you can only do with a succubus.
Okay, we're done. You're done,
Wait.
Ziggy.
X knows
Okay,
that
but
very well.
important question: would it be consensual?
Absolutely.
What?
not. It's
She's a
slave.
succubus.
Slaves can't
A
consent.
bound succubus.
Oh god, that brings in the whole morality of if it's a succubus, does consent even matter?
Slaves can't consent, regardless of if it's a succubus or not.
Yeah, prisoners basically can't consent. Period.
Yeah, no, but outside of that.
Even non-slave prisoners. Like,
Yeah.
So he's
I
a bad
say
guy,
he
right?
faces his own music, right? Because the guys on the ship have nothing to do with him. So as long as we drop him off in port to deal with his own nonsense.
Okay, what if
I mean, why is it on us
what if
to go
we
around
go
solving his problems?
bring Sergeant Harold another succubus and have the succubus kill him, and then we kill the succubus?
No, he said Ziggy said he wanted a specific one.
Named
Right.
one.
But if the succubus kills him, it doesn't really matter, does it?
We're gonna put a hit out on him.
We're
Not
gonna
necessarily. It's just
We
like
could.
unleash a monster on him, basically.
I could just summon in a succubus and kill him, and when people watch him die to the succubus he asked for, they'll be like, "Yep, he was asking for that one," and then we're cleared.
This is
D&D,
steadily heading towards
how-
evil.
Yeah. How to hire a hitman in D&D? Cost for
We
hiring.
are
Are you
hitman.
maybe shouldn't Google this.
I put D&D in there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we are the hitmen, basically.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know about you guys, but I did just watch this season of Game of Thrones, which had its own moral quandaries on this part. Can you just go murdering people you think are bad, or is that a slippery slope to I'm just going to murder anybody that disagrees with me or that I don't like? Now,
Which is why I'm thinking
we're
we
already
just
on that slope.
Okay.
leave this
Okay. Here's what we do.
to alone.
We get a scroll of detect alignment. If if Sergeant Harold is factually just evil, we kill him right there, and then we've got like a pretty good legal standard to go with. Well, he was.
Why do
evil,
you need
Your
a
Honor.
scroll? Aaron, I do that naturally.
Okay, Sky, we walk in, detect if this guy's evil. If he is, we just kill him right there. Call it a day.
Sure, why not? Vigdis?
All right, sure. What's a little bit more said
If
from
he's not evil, we get the crew to pay him back.
And then be free of debts from him, and then we sever any trading ties with the man. Yes?
Under capitalism, you're not going to sever trading ties with one of the largest
Wait, not
investors in
trading
Magnamar,
ties.
though, because you're still going to run into him. In fact, we could blacklist our whole crew because we're bringing in, or because we're doing bad terms with a large capital investor.
Oh, here's a piece of information you don't have. Harold does not live in Magnamar. He lives in Riddleport.
Oh, well, that's
Where
halfway.
the fuck is Riddleport?
Riddleport's halfway between here and Magnamar.
And is slavery legal there?
It's a pirate town.
Oh, then.
Ooh, big diss. Let's go burn some buildings down.
Yeah, I guess that is a thing. Just burn a few buildings, say he died in a fire. It's no one's fault. But this is getting really evil, guys.
That's definitely
Can we
evil.
just not?
They're pirates.
Okay, look,
It's
hey,
fine.
now, not all pirates are evil. Some of them are
Yeah, I was about to say,
morally
we have
gray.
Victus.
Oh,
know,
okay, big diss. Is that
They're
what
a
you're
couple bad decisions away from realizing that they've made a mistake in their life.
right?
Morty.
Fine.
Alright,
We won't go murder a nest of pirates. We'll
Just-
just kill the one.
So, crew, how do you feel about Sergeant Harold the Navigator?
Never met the guy, but he sounds like a dick.
Okay.
I'm inclined to agree.
Also inclined to agree. Alright, cool. We'll draw up some better contracts in the morning. I'm ready to go to sleep. When we go into port at Brynewall.
I don't trust these guys, so we should definitely set up a watch.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
Fair enough.
Thanks for volunteering,
X can take first watch, yeah.
No, I'll take first watch because then I get to keep Jason.
Oh, yeah, you have Jason.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take second watch.
Alright, I'm getting Detect Evil spell. Da 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 da. Okay. My many channel energies back.
Ziggy, how do you feel about us dropping you off in Brynewall in the morning, by the way?
Yeah, that sounds like a huge improvement over 24 hours ago.
I think you mean over like 2 minutes ago when I was gonna throw his ass off the side.
Honestly.
Yeah, but, you were hypothetically going to throw me off the boat,
Really?
and I could
Hypothetically,
kind of swim, right? But I was definitely upside down in the lair of a succubus 24 hours ago. So, still an improvement.
Okay. So, I take first watch.
Yeah, so nightfall comes and you're guided by lanterns into the northern port city of Brynewall at the edge of the Steam River Valley.
Steam River?
Yep.
Is it hot?
Mostly called that because of the fog that rolls in from the mountains following down from Lake Stormunder.
Idiots don't know the difference between steam and fog.
Not Lenormand
It's
King.
Anyway, Victus is strangely at home in the rowdy late night port town.
This isn't surprising at all.
Or at least seems to recognize, know immediately.
No, it feels like home, and I'm not entirely comfortable with that.
So
You're with us.
yeah, you've been staying in these sleepy gnomish towns that go to bed at 9 o'clock. These logging camps that are in bed at 8 o'clock. And here, when you pull in at 9:30, it's here's your beer, here's your lunch. Good luck, gentlemen.
I think you mean, hey, here's breakfast.
Yeah.
Here's breakfast.
No.
Well.
Yeah, the crew almost immediately jumps off ship before it's even tied up. One of them is tying as he's running, into Brynewall. Brynewall is known for its fantastic stonework. The whole place is stacked stone on top of stacked stone.
Like a wall, almost?
Yeah, and the wall is quite obvious because this enormous wall rises from the sea right at the edge of the port, so you actually have a a narrow neck between the watery edge and the like the town itself, and it's up a pretty steep staircase with a bunch of guards just kind of watching what goes up and down.
Excellent. Briny wall.
It's a pretty steep drop to the water here. So yeah, do you stay on the boat all night, or do you go get an inn, or?
What? No, we've got. Well,
We have partying to do.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
The captain gives you guys a nod and is like, "Don't you worry, you can teleport here once, you can teleport here again."
What? I didn't actually hear what you said.
Oh, you can teleport here once, you can teleport here again.
Perfect.
I'm not to cross you.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a good point. I carefully examined the port to Brinewall so that I can teleport there again.
We'll be remembering this.
Without having to scry on someone.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm done
And
getting all my
then
spells back.
you watch as the captain goes around tracing arcane locks on various doors and boxes.
X watches very closely.
Then he tips his tricorn at you and says, "It's probably the best trick I've learned."
If it
See,
looks
multi-class.
suspicious and scary, people won't touch it. Oh, actually,
What?
never mind.
Yeah. Nice star.
No. I'm making a key. The star is places Beaufort has been for teleport purposes.
Where's the star?
I have no idea. I'm trying to
It's
find
off
it.
the map.
Oh, there's the star.
Here are the
Um,
Aubrey Giants. In case you forgot.
What?
Here are the RB Giants down south.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so everyone runs in and goes and parties it up in Bridewell.
Hell yeah.
Yeah? Or
Yeah.
do we just gonna teleport back now?
I need to sleep first. Remember?
We did on the boat.
Oh,
Remember? X kept watch.
I thought it was still night. I wasn't sure.
No, it was the next day that we were at Bryan Mall.
Is it?
I thought it was
Yeah.
nighttime.
Oh goodness gracious.
Aubrey, did
Yo,
we sleep or did we not?
not yet.
Okay.
I was going to describe more of Bridewell.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Bridewell's a university town, and a port city. It's basically the last stop before the really savage parts of the north.
Mm.
And due to being between elvish lands and some of the more savage locations, and between some natural magical rifts, a lot of scholars congregate here. And so it's equal parts rowdy sailors and rowdy college magical students.
Hmm.
So it's like Viking Harry Potter land.
I love it.
Oh god, it feels like home.
But it's almost immediately obvious the first place you go to. The Vikings don't get along so well with the cheeky college kids with their magical shenanigans,
That
and
sounds
vice
right.
versa.
Oh my god.
The Vikings are uncouth, and the college kids are uptight pricks. Or not uptight. What's the word?
Insolent?
Insolent. Yeah.
Naughty.
Smug.
Snooty.
Snooty. Yeah.
Snooty. Hmm.
Smug, snooty kids. So there's a real white collar, blue collar,
Division.
yeah. But the town itself is built to withstand magical blasts and Viking raids.
Possibly wise due to the Vikings and the magical college students that hang out here regularly.
So the buildings are really interesting. So the town is huge and sprawling and that kind of Texas size. And then every building has these 3 and 4 foot thick stone slabs that make up all of the buildings. So
So they look like Minecraft buildings.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, you like walk in the saloon doors of a bar, and then it's still like a couple of seconds of walking before you're in.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. There's a sort of Minecraft architecture to the whole town, leading to the impression that one is constantly under a mountain of stone.
Are there dwarves here?
Yes, there are lots of dwarves.
How did I know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this might actually be the most most at home Vigdis has felt this entire adventure.
Also of note, there are dark elves.
Oh.
Oh, that's a curveball.
Those, if Danny were here, Danny would inform you that is completely hypothetical because people have only just recently reported that dark elves exist. They were a fairy tale until the Pathfinder Society confirmed them like only 20 years ago. Although, come to think of it, it was probably pretty close to here, actually. Like less than 100 miles south of here.
At Nitwak? Niltak?
Off to the east of Selvinian.
Ah, okay. In the Mirant Forest. Mirant-ni.
Correct.
Okay.
At the edge of the Califac Mountains and the Urani Forest. There is a whole undercity there, apparently. But seeing them above ground, yeah.
That's not too. Okay. That's pretty cool.
So yeah, there's elves, there's dwarves, there's college students, there's Vikings, and for some reason there's like at least 3 dark elves. At least 3 different ones. They don't kind of look alike, but
Sounds like a fun place to live.
Uh,
All right, Bofer, if you're extending your house collection, build one here.
No, technically Danny owns the place down in Melfesh, though. Remember?
Ah.
I forgot about that. Danny has a house there. Let me put a star in Melfesh so I remember that.
All right. So, are we gonna stay at an inn then?
Yeah, I guess let's
Different
find
room.
our way to an inn.
And we want one that has a bar.
Yeah, but that was obvious. We have a Vigdis. Of course, it needs a bar.
It's true.
So, are we going to have a bar session?
Always. It's our favorite
To
thing.
the bar.
to the bar.
Full of pixies getting ready for a bar fight.
As you're all arbitrarily wealthy at this point, you go to the good bar.
Does it have an inn attached?
Of course.
Nice. Then yes. Ooh, you know what? X wants to take a bath. Because I imagine we're probably really gross. Like, when's the last time we bathed?
Well, Buffer's been bathing his head a lot recently.
Well, that is true. But that is the distinct pleasure of Bofer.
The rest of us are gonna go find a hot spring.
Yeah.
We should go to a public bath.
Yeah.
We're all girls, anyways.
Yep.
It's true.
Bofer doesn't feel comfortable with
Bofer's awkward boner, yeah.
Oh, he doesn't care. None of us are gnome.
Bofer's asexual.
That's true.
But if he feels uncomfortable, he doesn't have to join.
Doesn't mean he doesn't have body issues.
Jason, although is male and has to go on the other side.
Yeah, you may not know this about Bofer, but Bofer doesn't think of his body the way that other people tend to see it.
Bofer's
That
dysphoric. That is something I've said before already.
I wonder why.
X definitely gets like a whole bottle of the like good wine, like whatever the strongest wine is, to bring into the bath.
Oh, I bring brandy.
But like just for herself. So like if you want some, bring it
Find
yourself.
someone in the inn already?
Yeah, of course. That helps.
Is she-
I do actually.
It's just not quite the same, you know?
Yeah. It's not as warm.
Okay,
Someone
so-
could hook us up with some slaves if you wanted.
Whoa there.
No.
Back
Just
it up.
Got consent.
Ah,
Aaron.
Ban.
I get it.
You're gonna get X and
No, I
Vigdis to punch you. Just saying.
Can't save you now.
Ray was just gonna kick. Someone needs to scrub my back.
Get under those scales.
This is why you haven't
Yeah.
seen Servant, or should have.
I do actually.
It's just not quite the same, you know?
Yeah. It's not as warm.
Okay,
Someone
so-
could hook us up with some slaves if you wanted.
Whoa there.
No.
Back it up.
Got consent.
Ah,
Aaron.
Ban.
I get it.
You're gonna
What you find
Splish splash.
is this chapel-looking structure up at the mountainous edge, sort of trussed together so that the stone forms like relatively pointy arches. But then they've gone and dragged in the edge of the river, and you can see that they've clearly diverted like a portion of the stream.
No,
Vigdis to punch you. Just saying.
Can't save you now.
Ray was just gonna kick.
Into the chapel. And it looks super fucking.
So, yeah.
Kick, punch, bite you. We can mix it up.
Or all
So-
of the above, really.
Go.
So we're just gonna play drinking games in the hospital.
Lacquered them,
Mhm.
and the whole thing is like a Norwegian airport.
You got me on that one.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, well, they
Hell yeah, that's like the best idea that one could
Yes.
possibly have, safety wise, you know?
Perfect.
Uh-huh. Getting sloshed.
decorated the whole thing in wood, despite it being very stone. It's a lot of angled stone, but there's this like dull purple light source somewhere up above, which is like gives a vague illumination to the whole place.
I rolled a
X isn't
knowledge
sure how she
religion.
feels about purple.
Knowledge religion.
You know how you feel about purple?
Yeah.
What do you with Steam like when you get there? And it's just a bunch of like snooty students like reading books and like having their foot calluses scrubbed.
Oh
Uh,
boy, this is gonna be fun.
But the bath in the back smells fantastic, like a bunch of
You need to seek
Ghost?
divine guidance for
warm pine trees.
Oh. Yeah.
ah. Nice.
I love it. Let's go get piney.
Mm-hmm.
Go to town on my calluses. There's nothing they can do.
Yeah.
I reach down and try and eat one. See if they're tasty.
And drinks her entire bottle of wine.
Ah.
Then there's like the concept. So your stomach's a little
Calluses? Man, I guess
Fish.
if you
Fish.
really want to.
okay. Yeah. Just snort it into your little dragon maw.
Yeah. Live
Ew.
fish
Oh,
are
yeah.
considered a normal part of a draconian diet.
Tastes pretty normal. Easy at the concept of like eating someone else's foot callus fish.
Jason's gender is listed as question mark, question mark, question mark.
Yeah, go over to the question mark side.
There's gotta be one.
Draconian
Okay.
is very different than draconic, I think.
Shush.
Ex mon.
But yeah.
And he plops down, a medium-sized treasure chest. And he says, it's all platinum. That's 250,000 gold pieces in platinum. We think it's more than fair
Alright.
for the trouble that you had to go through tracking us down, the interest that you're owed on starting a trading route, plus your aid in resolving the entire process, plus a little just, for your trouble.
Alright.
Follow-up question.
Plus 10,000 for, ownership of the ship, since
Okay.
Sure.
we're not really interested in, selling the ship back to you.
Allow me to. Can we have a sidebar with our council, please? And thank you,
Sure.
sir. good sir.
Yeah.
So I'm side with the party. Okay, this seems more than fair, but do we want to try to enter into business with them, or do we just want to scratch the whole thing? Because I think we
We've still
do
got
tend
another
to get
business
some
prospect with
interesting goods.
We've still got another business prospect with the Grey Maidens. I think they're probably better at this point, and we can use this to give them capital down south, as they've already proven that they need capital to make more money.
Are they trading, or are they just what's their shipping?
Mercenary, I thought.
I thought we were gonna go for like a vertical monopoly here.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling Haley's thing.
But prisoners.
Prisoners only under military contract signed by a sovereign power.
Fair enough.
How do you feel about the displacement of culturally relevant artifacts?
That's literally what you're selling us.
Offering, yeah.
So yes,
that's
right,
fine
yes.
by them.
But still existing cultures.
Yeah, we do that.
All right.
But
It's
is that a
fine,
deal
Rover.
breaker? I mean, we can write it into your contract.
No, that's fine. I guess.
Don't tie
The
our
guild
hands
doesn't
here,
see a
Rover.
problem
We
with
can.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good with this then.
Yeah, sure.
In addition to the 250,000 and the absolving all our responsibilities with Sergeant Harold, the Navigator, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Fabulous.
Yeah,
All of that will be dealt with via guild routes.
All right. Excellent.
And the rest remains your settlement from your initial investment.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Anyone else?
Treat the ship well.
Now, before we sign, there is one further requirement. The guild absolutely will not perform any business of anyone of evil alignment, lawful, chaotic, neutral, or otherwise. So, if you will please submit to a voluntary alignment check.
Hold on.
Okay.
And a cleric steps forward, and his eyes and the lawyers are like also kind of like averting their eye. It's like, okay, I mean, I guess you're allowed to. Like, you just don't want to offend business partners.
Victus, put your clothes on. This is not the time.
So then the captain steps in, and he wants to shake everyone's hands, and he wants to, do that overly long eye contact with each person as he shakes the hand. It takes a second too long to let go.
Oh,
really?
But not
Can we
over
have fun
gripping.
with it?
Okay. Is his hand?
Maybe we want to see what they've got.
That is true.
This one feat that I had before, Alex, allowed me to expend one of my healing spells to give you guys certain spells like Bane, so I could make your equipment. But I just thought that wasn't our campaign. Because amazingly enough, there's a few cleric spells that can alter, like your prestige points or give you temporary prestige points. So I was just like, I guess that isn't us. But no, you guys were just holding back on me. Just like all the experience points.
That was your doing. Okay, so with a good night's rest, I chalk all my spells up, and a good lawyer argument, which Bofer is seeming to get in more and more nowadays.
Yeah. At 32 prestige points, someone will res you. Or will find your corpse and res you and be like, holy shit.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
So
actually, there's
That's
a fame of
over.
30.
I've got 33 right now, so.
Yeah, fame of 30. You can do escape death for 5 prestige points.
Hey, what was the prestige of those 4 adventurers who were in that tower that we kind of killed but didn't really?
The spinny circular one
Yeah.
and
The bloat man.
Yeah, not enough that you heard of them, but that's more of a... the people who hired them will take care of that.
Gotcha.
Also remember, it's relative, so Magnamar prestige is different than... If you die in Magnamar, it's way different than dying in Kermaga, where your business is your business.
I also like Warden, where within your sphere of influence, you hold enough respect that you can arrest, detain, and confiscate possessions from any common citizen you suspect has committed or is committing a crime. Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of times where I like give
We
it,
do
and they're
that
like,
kind
no.
of on our own.
Yeah. but now we'd have
Like, and we actually be able to.
actually be able to.
Did you know you can have control of a ship for 10 prestige points?
I don't need prestige points.
We have
Yeah, but
intimidate
actually
rolls.
respect you and not just randomly sell to other people when you're not there.
Now we started a random bar fight. Now we've got our own ship.
Well, now we don't have a ship, but we have a trading agreement.
No, we still got the
And
Stonier Kin.
250,000 gold.
Oh yeah, we still have.
And
another
we've
ship.
still got the ship that the Grey Wardens are piloting. Grey Maidens, sorry.
The gray ship with white sails? No, wait. Because gray maidens. Yeah, okay.
I
Alright.
get it. Alright, cool shit. I presume that's where we're ending for the night?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for playing.
Thanks for
Russ.
DMing.
Alright, I am gonna call Dad and just see how life is.
Alright. Guten Nacht.
Stop.
Enjoy Finland.
By the way, yeah,
We
exactly.
will.
I was looking up, I was trying to guess at, like, how much gold you should get.
Mhm.
Apparently you guys are, like, way under gold pieced somehow. But probably because the shards are very expensive.